Good morning and welcome to the Force for Growth show. My name is Jessie.
I'm Michelle.
And I'm Courtney, and you joined us on Monday. So we're talking about our word of the week. And our word of the week is selected each Monday on our 6 a.m. calls by pulling a Do 52 stamp that has a verb on it. And Do 52 is a simple but powerful toolkit designed by House of Shine to prompt us weekly to do things mindfully and open ourselves up to new ideas. So the word of the week this week is listen. And Michelle has the definition for us.
I have the definition. So as a verb, it's obviously give one's attention to a sound. But some of the other definitions really sparked a lot of conversation this morning in our call. Take notice of and act on what someone says. Respond to advice or a request. So act on was the key on that definition. Make an effort to hear something, be alert and ready to hear something, and use to urge someone to pay attention to what one is going to say. So what does that spark for you guys?
So this is my first time doing this with you guys. And because Ricardo's currently crewing Business Mastery with Tony Robbins. So I am filling in as producer today. So I'm going to do my best. So he texted me while I was walking this morning, the word of the week. And what came to me was Ricardo and I recently were doing some Alison Armstrong work, and she talks about how women specifically, we need to listen to learn and not listen to respond. So when he texted me the word listen, I immediately went to listen to learn, So that's the thing that I've been practicing on. I've been, really working hard at anytime I listen, I'm learning. I'm paying attention to that person and not just trying to respond to what that, have a response already in my head. I'm like actually there, present, and listening to learn what that person is giving me. So that's what immediately when he texted me the word this morning, that's what came to me.
Yeah. I love that. That kind of also one of the things we talked about that's similar to that this morning is not being defensive. So when you're getting feedback from someone, one of the things we talked about was listening to the right people, first of all. And when you are listening to the right people and you get constructive feedback, not being defensive, and that opens you up to listen to learn.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah. The other one that came up for me this morning that was big that we did talk about was listen to the whisper. Listen to the feedback. And that's kind of where we dove deeper into that. But the whisper. So that says a lot in itself that you need to be in the present moment. You need to be quiet. You need to be mindful that messages or feedback or, whatever side of the spectrum you're on that you explain it, that's coming at you at all times. And so just be still and listen. And, that's where a lot of our wisdom lies that we give away to other people or we run away and ask. And a lot of time that's not the right person. It's not somebody you should be taking advice from, or maybe it is and you get defensive, So that's deep and a big one that we could all improve on whatever stage we're in.
Absolutely. I know that at the beginning when people would try to give me feedback, I was very defensive. For sure. I'm not gonna say I wasn't. I definitely was. It's hard to get feedback. Negative, positive, it doesn't matter. Feedback is very hard. And what I realized is when I started listening to learn, I wasn't defensive anymore. I took it, for what it's worth. It's feedback. It's, I can take it and implement it, or I can just take it. It doesn't mean anything. It's feedback. It's that person's opinion on what I am or am not doing, to their story, to their standards, to what their map of the world is. And you can't take that personal because that's on them. That's not on you. So just listen to learn. And it's just feedback. It's just that person's opinion. And we all have our own right to our own opinion. So
Yeah.
Yeah. One of the things we talked about in that regard this morning was listening to the feedback and taking that external feedback. We always hear about quieting the chatter. And one of the guys on the call this morning talked about not quieting the internal chatter, but take that external feedback from the right people and listen, and then take it internal and listen to your gut to see how you feel about that. And then you can make the decision from there. So you can take knowledge and wisdom from other people and then see how that resonates with you and then make your decision.
Yeah. Yeah. And that plays into one that I'm surprised didn't come up this morning, or if it did, I missed it, but listen to your heart. You know, we always, the cliche, and I love that it's a panel of ladies today, but you know, whenever you talk to that special someone in your life and they say something along the lines of your heart already knows, you know, that's a big one that just daily life will suck us up and suck us out of that. And if you just get still in a moment, typically you'll find the solution a lot quicker. It might not be pretty, but you know what you need to do, you know?
Yeah. I think as women, we tend to live in our heart, so we respond emotionally a lot. So I think for us, it's easy. For men, I think that's their gut. But for women, I think that an automatic is their heart for the majority. For most women, I will be very clear with that. Most women, because I'm not most women.
You're not.
That's a great point, though.
Yeah,
yes.
but most women tend to, speak from their heart, tend to always be in their heart. And most men tend to be in their, their gut feeling. They always have a gut feeling about something. So that's interesting that you brought that up.
Yeah.
One of the other things that we talked about this morning on the 6 a.m. call was listen to your body. And being a health coach, that, of course, resonated with me a lot. And our bodies tell us so much. And if we'll just listen, it's crazy because I have fine-tuned over the last couple of years my diet. And now my body like I know my body, and I never did before. It was crazy. One of the things I hear a lot is I didn't know how bad I felt until I felt good. So we sometimes don't really know how good feeling good feels, or that you can. And that's something I've learned myself. And now I have, I'm not, I don't deprive myself, but I live a healthy lifestyle and I feel good all the time. And every now and then, whenever I have that piece of cake or whatever it is that I allow myself to have and I'm okay with it, my body responds like that. It is crazy when you're in tune to your body, how quickly you can see how specific things affect you. But listening to your body, there's so many, it's that feedback. But our bodies really, one of the guys this morning talked about our body as a temple. And what did he say? He said, don't treat your body like a rental car. Treat it like a luxury vehicle. And I loved that.
That's good. So how long do you think, Michelle, that it took you to truly listen to your body? Because that's a hard one, I feel.
Yeah, it took a while. So on my journey, it took me 5 months to lose the weight, to get to a healthy weight, 5 months. But it's been a journey ever since then, and really kind of moving into maintenance and adding things back to my diet that I didn't have when I was on the weight loss phase of my journey. That's really when I started to be able to tell. And it's almost like a baby. Whenever a baby starts eating food, you introduce one thing at a time, because then how carrots affect this baby, or how, bananas or whatever it is. You introduce one thing and then give it a week or a few days and see how they react. That's kind of how we do on our maintenance, going into maintenance to maintain your healthy weight, is you start introducing things little by little. And then that really taught me a lot about how my body responds to certain things.
Yeah. And one thing that you have done a great job teaching us on the morning calls is, the listen to your body, to take that a level farther. Or I guess once you can learn to listen to it health-wise, you learn, when something happens, you talk about it's tension. So that could be listen to your gut, but it shows up as fear or anxiety. So that can show up in different spots in the body, and as tension, a headache, or, if you look up backache, things like that, they tend to go along with different type of emotional weight or trauma circumstances in particular. And it's really fascinating. And not to say that any one thing's correct, but it's interesting when you really start to look at it that way, and that what is my fear telling me? What is my anxiety telling me? Not, oh, I have a problem. I'm not, something must be wrong with me. I have anxiety. I need to go take this pill. There's a message in that versus something's wrong with you, so I think that is all kind of the same category of health-wise, but I want to broaden that because Michelle's taught us that too.
That is, that's near and dear to my heart.
Yes.
Because I have overcome anxiety, and I had debilitating anxiety where I couldn't get out of bed some days, and I hate anxiety. And you dealt with that too. And it's torturous, but awareness is key to that. And because anxiety, literally what it is chemicals going through your body. And when you learn to pay attention, to listen to your body, you immediately can learn to recognize those chemical reactions in your body. And then, like you said, okay, what is this telling me? And every single time, it's crazy, but as soon as I start to feel anxiety chemicals in my body, I have to stop. And I'm like, okay, what's happening here that needs to be changed, because something needs to be changed. And usually it's a muscle that you develop over time and practice, it gets better and better. But when you stop and you pay attention to those chemical reactions in your body, fear, anxiety, stress, whatever it is, it's telling you to change something. Something needs to be, whatever it is. And so I can stop and look at what's going on. And usually I can identify it and then make that change. And I can do it quickly now to where I don't deal with anxiety anymore, because I know immediately to, react to it when it happens.
So we have a comment here, Bobby Cassio. She says, listen, paying attention to your surroundings for clear understanding. Absolutely. Thank you for tuning in, Bobby. And earlier, Tamara said, good morning, ladies. Sorry, Tamara, I'm learning this producing, so I apologize. I did not do the shout out. But thank you. Good morning, Tamara.
Good morning. Right, we love you, Tamara.
Yes.
She's doing a great job as producer.
I'm trying. It's a lot harder. What's interesting is that I'll always tell Ricardo, your eyes are going everywhere except straight. And now I understand why, because he has to look at all these. It's a lot harder than I thought. But anyways, all right, I won't be commenting on where his eyes are ever again. But I will listen to what he says going forward.
I was about to say that plays into our word.
Yes, it does play. So I will listen better when he says why he can't just focus straight on the camera. So anyways, but this was a good word. I really, I mentioned earlier, we've been doing Allison Armstrong work. We did Understanding Women and Understanding Men. Both amazing programs. And she talks about, the listening to learn. And ever since we did those programs, I've really been not just with Ricardo, but with Sebastian and our son and all of our friends that we talk to, family. Anytime they truly talk, I listen, and it's been interesting. I feel different about the conversation. I feel more connected. I feel that when I'm responding to them, I'm there with them. So it was very interesting to me that the word this week was listen. And it was like, okay, cool. I can talk about that because I know that's what we've been doing. I've been listening to learn. So that's great. All right. So let me show this real quick. Tamara says, I listened to my body this morning and skipped my workout. Good news is I can listen to the podcast live today. Yay, Tamara. Thank you. Bobby, again, listen to respond, not to react. I think that goes into kind of what we were talking about with feedback. Obviously, you're listening to not react. You're taking that information in. And again, you can do with what you want to your point, Michelle, what you were saying, you either it fits within you, that feedback fits within your heart, your gut, whatever you want to call it, and you can, implement it, or you can just take what that person said and, it kind of just goes through you without reacting. So,
yeah. One of the things that goes in line with that too is that we talked about this morning is listening to not just words. Words are so important, but listening to tone of voice, even body language and things like that. And we talked about this morning. One of the things I talk to clients, and it's important for me to listen to them, to talk, to hear their voice, because if we were just texting, I don't hear struggle. And if I get on the phone with them, I can hear struggle in their voice. They may say I'm doing fine, but if I can pick up on, nonverbal cues, if I hear their voice, and even more so, like we talked about this morning, if we see each other, but nonverbal cues are things to listen to, and it helps you tap in. And one of the things that we talked about was how when you offer advice, asking for permission. So can I offer you a suggestion? And Ricardo explained this morning that what that does is it opens, whenever they give you permission to give the advice or suggestions, it opens their brain up to receive that advice. And I thought that was really cool.
So I can personally speak to that because I am Ricardo's guinea pig. And when he started doing that to me, he would ask me, and I'm like, okay, I get, like, at first I would say okay, but I really wasn't okay. But then I realized, I'm like, oh, okay, I really am okay with with this information that he's saying. And he's like, he told me, he's like, you're not as combative with the information that I'm telling you. Had I not, asked you, hey, can I share something with you? Are you, is it okay if I ask you a question, or just different things that you can try to listen better? So that, yes, I totally agree with that. All right, let's see. Tamara has another comment. God gave us 2 ears and 1 mouth. We are at our best when we use them in that proportion. Yes. Sorry, the camera's in the way, so I can't read it all. But yes, absolutely.
I love that. That's so great.
Yeah, I think it definitely in business is huge. And we forget that in 2020. And people think it's just this tech world and we can just do everything online. And I'm in insurance. I have to do it the old school way, or it doesn't work for, I don't know how those folks can do it and never talk to their client. I need to talk to you for like 10, 15 minutes just to get to know you. But what I learn about you tells me everything about your needs, everything about your worries, your past claims, where you need, that buffer because you've had a bad experience there. So let's talk a little bit more about that. It's my ticket to success personally. So, but that's like, I encourage you to look at your own industry and how you can listen to your client more. Sean Murphy, that's something, he was on last Friday. That's something he teaches on his morning calls, because I'd say 95% of those folks listening are in multi-level marketing. And, that's one that cliche, most folks can't make it work. That's because it's a relationship business, so, but like a relationship bank, someone once told me it's a relationship bank. You can't get a deposit from that. You can't ask for a sale. You can't ask for this, fill in the blank. You can't ask for a purchase, whatever, until you've deposited something in there, it's that simple, but we complicate it so much. And it's because these lens we're listening through that all of our past experiences are added into that. No, just like leave all that weight there and just like be in the present moment. Michelle, be where your feet are, right?
Yes.
Absolutely. Just listen. Just listen and learn. I think that's great. All right. So last thoughts, ladies. Any last thoughts?
Just the last thing I'll bring up was one more thing that was on our call this morning is listening to the motive of other people. So when you are taking advice from other people, listen to their motives. Are they there to help you, to serve you, or are they there to, otherwise? So listen to the motives whenever you do listen to advice.
Yeah. And one I wrote down this morning, but it was powerful. I believe Joan said it. God asked us to be human, not perfect. Just a deep breath. It's okay. Yeah. Go do your best, It's all right.
Great job. Well, thank you, ladies, for joining me, or I was joining you. I'm not really sure. But so Ricardo doesn't get upset at me, make sure that you subscribe and like our videos on YouTube. You can go to the forceforgrowth.com.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I said that correctly.
Or the Force for Growth show on YouTube.
Yes. Oh, there it is. I found the banner. Yay. It is forceforgrowth.com.
Man, she's doing good.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can download Spotify podcasts, any of those. So you can listen to us via audio.
Yes,
all right. Thank you, ladies.
Thanks for hosting today.
Yes.
Jessie.
We always love it. We just give Jessie some love.
I'm glad that it's ending. Yay.
You did awesome.
I'm Happy Monday, everybody.
Bye. Bye, guys. Have a great day.